Here we're at a house that was exposed to the crown fire that extends all the way around except for down the canyon from the house. And the first impression when you walk in here is that the crown fire obviously caused this house to burn down, and that this house didn't stand a chance. But the one thing I want to point out right away is that there's quite a distance, well, there is a distance of clearing between the trees and where the house is located. And I also want to point out the things that are remaining, the things that are unconsumed in this scene that are between the house and the crown fire as we pan across. There's absolutely no doubt but what this was an intense fire environment at the time that it burned. It burned extremely intensely. Now we'll go up and we'll take a look at those things that still remain between the destroyed house and the crown fire to see if we can get a sense of maybe what the heat exposure was to the house from this crown fire, and maybe get a clue as to at least categorically what burned this house down. Scorching on it, but one of the huge problems with a tree like this is that it deposits a tremendous amount of fine dead needles around the house as well as on the house. In this particular case, this house has gutters. It has a gutter system which can, particularly on this side of the house where the tree is overhanging the roof, the roof is composition shingle, so that's not a problem with it igniting from needles, but the gutter, if it collects needles, it can ignite from those lofted embers, and it can start a fire right there at the eave edge, right where the roofing comes down. And let's go around to this side of the house. Now this is really an important characteristic on this house. See how this is pushed out here? This is wood up under here, and we've got siding coming down. This is an excellent thing to do. Basically, you just remove all the vegetation, all the potential fuel, and you take it down to something that's totally non-flammable. This is an incredibly vulnerable place on this house if we have any fire underneath here. It's not vulnerable from that big crown fire out there that didn't catch this side on fire anyway, but if we have anything that's burning under here, this kind of a push out really traps fire, and once it can generate even glowing combustion, it's very likely that will penetrate into the house and involve the entire structure. Okay, let's go around to the backside, take a look at the backside. Okay, here is another good example. We've got wood plywood siding with a wood drip, but we've got masonry wall, concrete foundation, and very little vegetation, very little anything that is going to create any flames that are going to ignite this wall. It's basically a very fire-wise situation. This grass doesn't burn with enough flames to actually bridge across and produce enough heat to ignite the wall, and not only that, but anything that might ignite in here, including piles of firebrands that you can see here. This is concrete and masonry wall, and it really isolates this wood wall. And this wall is significantly far enough away from any of the torching trees up there to keep it from...
Dad talks about that fire every day. He cried about it. He wished he could have changed it. He wished he hadn't run away. You have to remember one thing, Victor. He ran back into that burning house looking for you. He did one good thing. He went back for you.
Everything in the world can fit inside this ball. It's all about magic, man. It's about faith.
Are you okay?